Hey everybody, so some more gameplay for you here from Fall of the Samurai and my Avatar campaign. This match is it's a medium funds battle on Aki against JR6789. My army, I've got 2 Yariki, a Saber Cavalry, a Katana Kachi, a Tosa Rifleman, which is 150 range matchlet unit, 4 Black Bear and 3 Spear Levy. I'm a 4-star bronze general, and I've gone down the pistol tree with an angry Japanese man. My retainers, I've got the one that gives line infantry more ammo, I've got plus armour, and I've got minus morale for enemy line infantry and elite units. Okay, so the guy went ready before I had a chance to really do much, so I'm a bit annoyed at that, but hey ho. I should also say this will be one of the first battles that I'm putting the commentary on after I've played. So all the gameplay and the camera work is what I was recorded live, but me talking now comes after, because I was talking to a friend at the time, so I wasn't able to do the live commentary as well as the gameplay. Okay, so we're looking at Aki, which obviously you've got 2 hills, fairly well forested, an archery dojo in the middle, and a bit of a gully down the side. So my game plan for this map was to move everybody forward, and get good position whilst flanking with cavalry, but making sure I captured the archery dojo. So that was the plan. The retainer he played against me reduces my fatigue resistance for all my units. I'm not sure how important that is. It's quite a small map, Aki, and I'm not doing much running. So here we go. I put my Yariki, my cavalry in the woods on the left. I think about putting my Saber Cavalry on the side of the map and end up putting it all on my left flank. I put my Tosa Riflemen in front of my main line in order to try and engage, to make the unit, to get the range advantage and to make my opponent come to me. I've got some Katana Kachi just behind my main line to counter charge, and then I've got Spear Levies just around my units. This is the second time this guy's gone ready without saying anything. We know that annoys me, but hey ho, we moved on with the game anyway. So we rush forward to try and get the archery dojo. I'm just checking out the landscape because I haven't played Aki. Now you may have noticed that a bit of cavalry flashed up for him in the woods at the back of the map. I did not notice that. I haven't played for a couple of days. I'm not very good anyway, so I'm rusty. And I was talking to a friend, so you can look forward to that catching me out later. So looking at his units, he has Infantry de Marine, Shinsengumi Police Force, Vermilion Bird Force, all with improved reload, a Shogunate Infantry, or 2 Shogunate Infantries and 3 Spear Levies, and his general is a Pistol General. So he's got the advantage in terms of quality infantry. I don't know how much those units cost, because my Black Bear are 850, which isn't hugely expensive on medium funds, I guess. So here we are, we're trying to just grab our units around the side of the map whilst gain position in the archery dojo. Again, I wasn't quite sure where to deploy here, because I didn't know A, where he was going, or B, what kind of terrain this map had, because I've not plugged it with a Fall of the Samurai army before. So I was just checking out his units. Again, so we're just marching forward. I didn't know whether to deploy in front of or behind the archery dojo. I end up deploying kind of to the side and in front of it when I realised he isn't challenging for it, he's just getting position on the hill. I crabbed my infantry round. I was going towards the shrine, but not to capture it. But then I've noticed that he sent a spear levy round to the shrine anyway, so I want to be careful what I do with my cavalry. He's exhausted his units, running them up the hill to get position. I'm just slowly ambling along at the bottom of the hill. Not sure what the best strategy is on this map. The position to shoot down is very good, but the archery dojo gives a significant increase to all your ranged infantry, and that is the meat of my army, so that's where I put my priority. Though I'm not quite sure how that worked. So yeah, we are still manoeuvring around. Because I can't fast forward the action because obviously I'm talking over a recording, not a replay. So we just about captured the archery dojo, which for me is one of the most important dojos if you have range. If you have, which mine's all, my infantry is all modern infantry, so I went for. Again, I'm just looking at the terrain to see why perhaps my Tosa Riflemen aren't firing, even though they're in range. And my thinking is that they can probably see those units on the hill. And there you go, they open up just as I was about to move them. So we get some early casualties on his infantry. At this point, so I leave my Tosa Rifleman there just to encourage him to engage me. I then try moving. The plan was then to move my toaster rifleman back so that the bulk of my infantry could start firing. I didn't really manage that very well. The other thing that happened was I thought he'd left this infantry relatively open. So, so we've withdrawn our riflemen, we were engaged with all our melee troops, we're trying to flank with our spears. Again, you'll notice on the minimap that some cavalry has just come out of the woods behind me. I didn't see that. I tried to send my sabre cavalry into the back of his units, just to try and break them. I noticed his general's unsupported, so I tried to send one of my Yarikachi into him, or Yariki, sorry, into him. He's obviously got suppressive fire on some of his units because all of my units have had a negative to my morale. My sabre cavalry, my other Yarikachi was coming in the back, but I've had to pull them out because of his spears. We've engaged his general, all our ranged infantry are shooting, but then this is when his Yariki comes smashing into the back of my lines, and I don't have any spears to stop them. I've got 2 spear units relatively close by, so I can react, but not too well. My micro is terrible as well in this match. You may have noticed my sabre cavalry got routed by his line infantry, which annoyed me, and my katana Kachi also got routed. They got caught on his cavalry and then routed because they didn't make it into combat, which is a bit frustrating. So I brought 2 units there that I paid probably around 1300 koku for, and they didn't really make any difference whatsoever. My cavalry are idling because I don't really know what to do with them. In the end, I just end up throwing them into his cavalry because my spears aren't doing a very good job of keeping up with it, and I'm not microing my lines very well. So I just use my cavalry to try and counteract his. The elite infantry he brought seems to just hold out so much better in melee than any of my units do, against cavalry or not, so I don't quite know what to do. I don't know if I'm upgrading my units wrong or not, but hey ho. So we charge one of our spear levies forward just to try and disrupt his front line while we reposition our Black Bear. His cavalry is going to get into our general again because our cavalry didn't get there quick enough. So I'm frantically trying to get some spears and some cavalry into his lines, into his cavalry to stop him killing my general. I did put my general in skirmish because I forgot, so he's going to get caught. And also my sharpshooters have got caught up in the melee, so they're not really contributing anything. So finally my general, some spear units and some sharpshooters are firing at his cavalry. My spear levy have charged forward to hold up his front line, and my black bears are just opening up on all his ranged units where they can. At this point my general's taking some fairly significant casualties, so I decide to pull him out of there, because if he dies I am in trouble. So we've just about fended off his cavalry. My spear levy routed, and he's charging his spear levy forward to disrupt my line, so I just withdraw my men back, and sort of start kiting with my ranged component whilst I reposition my melee troops. So again, my sharpshooters around the flanks, but not really doing very much. I charge what's left of my spear levy forward whilst kiting all my ranged units back. I think what benefited this guy in this map is he got the shrine, and that seemed to make a big difference between my units routing quicker and his hanging around and fighting. So I'm trying to use my Yaris to get around into his remaining ranged infantry, but I'm having some trouble doing that. Bit of lag there, sorry about that. Again, just repositioning and kiting with our general. His spear levy stopped there before they got to our troops, which was good, so they lost a lot of their downhill charge. I think it's because they're exhausted. We put one of our line infantry into our black bears into melee to hold him up, and then just flank with the other. We're getting our Yari keys round to get into his guns. At this point, we're charging uphill with our spear levy, but we're using his routing spear levy as a bit of a meat shield, so that worked out pretty well. I throw one of my Yari keys in levy just to make sure it doesn't come back from routing. And then, so we've routed his spear levy on my left flank, so we're moving our other guns forward now. We've got our Yaris into the back of his remaining guns. We're trying to get them out before they get caught by the spears. We're moving the rest of our ranged infantry forward. At this point, he said good game. All his units are routing, so not much to be said really. We throw our Yari key in just to try and mop up. So we lost quite a lot of units there. Well, We took some significant casualties, costly victory, so we said good game. We're going to have a look at... so, my angry Japanese man, we got some Yoriki veterans out of that. Unlocked Carbine Cavalry. And got the Scroll of Inspirational Verse, random drop, which we're quite pleased with. So results, I deployed 1495, I lost 850, I killed 980. He deployed 1350, lost 985, killed 845. Unit statistics, my Yoriki got 181, my Black Bear 139, and my other Black Bear 123. And for him, his Shogunate Infantry 183, his Yoriki 161, and his Infantry de Marine 134. So that was a good game. He used his cavalry well, I missed it completely. His elite infantry just did a much better job of holding, but in the end my numbers paid off, but it was a very close victory. So good game, well played, and yeah, on to the next match. Okay, so second battle is against Fruit Dealer 171. He's a 3-star bronze general, and we're playing medium front on Usui Pass. Ignore the army you see in front of you, I change it, that is not what I bring. Okay. First time I think I've played this map, I can't remember. So, the army that I end up bringing is I use artillery, I bring some parrot guns. So I end up bringing 5 Black Bear, 3 Spear Levy, my general, some vanilla parrot guns, 2 Yarikachi and a carbine cavalry. 2 Yariki and a carbine cavalry. Put all my cavalry in the trees on the left hand side. Last time I used, or someone used artillery against me, I got battered basically. So I thought it might be quite useful. But you'll see that I don't always make the best use of it in this particular battle, whereas I just unlimber it in the wrong place really. So we line up. First thing that I want is to see if I can get my artillery firing. He's not in range yet, so we wait it out a bit, look at some of his units. Mainly he brings White Bear. So next thing to do is we move our main body forward, and we want this archery dojo. We're also crabbing our cavalry forward in the trees, so that's the 2 Yariki and the carbine cavalry. So we just sneak these guys forward. So he's got 2 Yariki on my left, his right, they're both vanilla. Most of his infantry are White Bear, but he's got 2 Katana Kachis, a Bow Kachi, 2 Spear Levies, and another vanilla Yariki on his right, on his left, my right, sorry. So we're not too worried about the single Yarikachi because we've got spears behind us, so we're just trying to position to get the archery dojo. Our artillery, we're still just trying to see where we can shoot at. Nowhere yet, so we just make our cavalry, make sure cavalry's in position. What I try to do is to... I changed my mind. I was going to attack but didn't, so I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's trying to flank me or just get in position, so I kind of wait that out and miss my opportunity really. Still moving all of our units up to the archery dojo. At this point, kind of realise that Yariki is coming around for my guns, so I pull a Spear Levy back to keep his Katana Kachi, to keep his Yariki out of the back of my lines. Finally, they're in range of our artillery, so we put on the kill zone and start firing. However, you're going to notice my position will blunder quite soon. Also, on the right, my left, his right, you see that my carbine cavalry opened up on his, and my plan was to sort of lure them in with my carbine cav, and then sneak on them with my Yariki, which seems to work quite well, but I don't do the greatest job of microing it. So we're rotating our lines now, just to sort of keep the field of fire equal if we can. Trying to position our spear levies around our guns. You may notice that one of my Yariki is routing. I think a mixture of being slammed by 2 Yarikis and shot in the back with guns did something bad to them, so we've routed both of his cavalry on this flank. But you see, this is where I realise that 2 out of every 3 shots from my guns are hitting those trees. Now, when somebody used artillery against me, I thought it arched over everything, so I didn't pay much attention to where I was positioning it. Bad idea, turns out. Also, here we just try to move our troops around. There I pull my carbine cav forward for reasons I don't understand, because it put us in range of his guns and they get blown away. So as you can see there, his white bear on his right are just opening up on my carbine cav and they get reamed. Complete micro faux pas on my part, I don't know what I was doing. And in the end I just end up throwing my remaining Yari key into the side of his white bear. Bad idea for two reasons. One, they don't get a good charge off, and two, white bear aren't bad in melee, so I end up basically wasting my Yari key on there. Plus he's got support from other units, so bad decision, but it was just to stop him getting round me, hold him up. I don't know, whatever really. My my parrot gun started firing at his cavalry, which I didn't notice, so that prompts them to charge forward. I try and retrain their fire on his main lines. I'm trying to sort of fend him off with a spear levy. We've tried to retrain the fire. At this point, his bow catchy get in range of our main line, so we move our black bears forward, just so we can start returning fire. Again, our artillery isn't really doing very much. Trying to get around with our spear levies. Our Yari key and carbine cavalry came back from routing, so we just started trying to get them back into the fight. Reposition our black bears to get a better line of fire. Again, our parrot guns have got 18 kills at this point, so I didn't bother moving them around because I thought they were firing, thought every other shot was getting through. He's got the sword dojo, and just to use my Yari key, I try and throw them and my carbine cavalry to take out his katana catchy. Again, all my artillery is just going into the trees, so I think I finally decided to unlimber it and move it. I thought a couple of shots were getting through, but I don't think they were. He's sending his katana catchy and his spear levies forward, so we respond in kind by just throwing our spear levies forward to break up his melee lines. Our disposable infantry are either meat shields, cav blocks, or just delay tactics, and that's what they've done quite well in this fight. The Yari key that I thought had routed, he actually kept them in those woods, and they came out and got my carbine cavalry, so again, terrible micro on my part. Not being able to use the camera that pulls right out is throwing me slightly. I'm not used to playing like this, but there we go. And again, we're just trying to keep our artillery safe with a spear levy, but it turns out that actually that Yari key is just chasing down the carbine cavalry and basically doesn't come back into the fight. So we've routed one of his spear levies, and our spear levy are engaging his remaining spear levy, so we reposition our black bears to again get a better position for firing. We're trying to move our parrot guns up to get them into the game a bit more. Those are very, very slow. His katana catchy routed my Yari key, but they're out of the fight now, so they're too far away. We see his generals open. Matchlocks have automatically started firing on them, so we just charge our spear levy in. Happens already. So now we retrain our spears to hold up his melee line, but we realise that we don't want his spear levy on the right flank coming back, so we reposition our black bears to shoot at his line infantry. Our spear levies and our artillery is still just making their way forward. At this point, we send one of our spear levy into his lines. Oh, bit of lag. There we go, so everyone's recording. Move our general up to support our lines. We're firing into his two remaining white bear. We've engaged one of them with a spear levy to stop them firing back. His Yari key is coming back, but it's too late to do anything really. And we didn't want the spear levy getting back involved, so we've just put one black bear and one spear levy to taking care of that. And to try and help the black bear get a few kills and get into veterancy, we just let them take care of the spear levy, and all of our remaining black bear are just opening up on his white bear, and we rout them, which causes a mass rout for his spear levies, his Yari key, and his katana catchy. So we both say good game. I acknowledge the fact I'm wasting my artillery, and I'm a moron, but it was a good game. I quite like that map. A close battle again. Let's have a look at the results. So I deployed. Oh, we'll not. Oh no, that's nothing we know about that. So I deployed 960. I lost 386. I killed 674. My opponent deployed 1,100. He lost 676, and he killed 371. In terms of unit statistics, for me, my black bear got 133, 117, and 81, so they were the main bulk of infantry. My carbine cavalry didn't get any kills hardly because I wasted them, and I was livid about my parrot gun usage. That was silly. and for him his White Bear, Katana Kachi and Bow Kachi were his top kills. So good game, well played, and thank you for watching. We're on to the next video. Okay, so the third battle, we're up against Tensai Pony on Rice Fields, medium funds. I 5-star bronze. I've got a very similar army to what I had last time. So Carbine Cav, 2 Yari keys, Parrot guns, 5 Black Bear, 3 Spear levies. All my Black Bears, though that one, the 851, doesn't have any upgrades. So here we are, so we'll just quickly go through the lineup. So my typical formation, we're pushing forward. We've got our parrots are already in formation. I'm just waiting for them to come into range. We've got all our cavalry's hidden off to the trees on our right flank. So this guy's got 4 Yari catches, a melee general, 2 bow catches. So obviously he's got some stuff hidden. And here 2 Yari keys come out of the woods, all vanilla. So we pull the same trick we did last time, where we try and use our carbine cavalry to open the engagement. And then our Yari keys to start attacking. Here, he just comes into range. I put kill zone on his shrapnel shot. I don't really know what it does, just to start hopefully trying to destroy one of his archers before they can get into range, really, because I don't want them having that advantage. So there we go, that hits. A bit more successful than last game rather, but only 6. So he caught me on I wasn't expecting him to just charge straight at me, so my try and get my carbine cav out, which puts 1 of my Yari catches against 2 of his. And then my carbines aren't doing a huge amount. Now this is where I think I made a bit of a mistake. Actually no, I'm okay here. I push forward to engage his units. He's also got Katana Kachi that have come out of the woods. And here, rather than shooting my own units, I throw my carbines into melee and charge into the back of this Yari key to try and rout it. And then I use my other 2 Yari keys to fend off his remaining one. But what I haven't noticed at this point is that 2 more Yari keys have come out of the hiding from the other part of the map, and they're charging to support his lines. And that leaves me at a disadvantage cavalry-wise, so there's not much I can do about that. And I don't really notice until it's, until they're sort of there, really. They're like barreling down on me. Okay, so at this point, our artillery is still firing. And here, now this is where I think I made a mistake. I pulled my Black Bears forward to get into range of his archers. But what that does is, his Yari keys really close the distance, Yari Kachi, sorry, really close the distance while I'm moving forward. So it's a bit of a waste, really. I should have just held my ground. But we open fire on all his Yari Kachis, which are all in loose formation. Here we can see that his Yari key has chased down my my carbine cavalry, and his remaining Kachis have taken out, his remaining keys have taken out my cavalry. So basically at this point all my cavalry has been obliterated. He's got 2 units left, 2 or 3 units left. He's rushed all his Yari Kachis into my front line. I have no strong melee troops. Now here another mistake, I left my parrot guns on fire at will, so they're firing very closely into my lines and causing me casualties as well. So I wasn't overly thrilled about that. I try and use my spear levy to hold up his Katana Kachi and support my lines, but I've just got no chance there. And I'm getting flanked by his cavalry now. So this guy brought a very modern Fall of the Samurai army. And you can see he's got his katanas into his spears into my general, and his Yari key are about to hit my general as well. I try and move my parrots to fight his cavalry, but it's too late. My infantry line's been routed, and it's just a matter of time before I die. So that was a Fall of the Samurai player using the more modern samurai units. And just melee rushing, basically. He had 2 bows, a lot of cav, and just spears, which he just threw into my lines and routed me. So, good game, well played. Nice to see the traditional units doing well. And there go the rest of my units. So, not a great deal I could do there. But it says close defeat, it wasn't. I got smashed. So, well played, so let's look at the results. So here we can see I deployed 1440, I lost 980, I killed 400, which is pitiful. And he deployed 1200, lost 407 and killed 978. So again, the high armoured units he had, and the fact that he closed the distance very quickly didn't give my ranged units an opportunity to do much damage. So for me, my carbines and my Black Bear got around 50 kills, but really poor. For him, his Yari Kachi, 148, his Sugar Tie, which is a sword unit, 139, and his Yari key 123. So all melee, apart from Tumbokachi, all traditional. So good game, well played. Hey guys, okay, so last battle for this video. We're against Little Friend, who's a 6-star bronze general. We're playing on Usui Pass, medium funds. I've got 1 carbine cav, 3 Yari keys, 1 toaster rifleman, 4 black bears, and 3 spear levy. Like a moron, I kept the retainer for fielding artillery, but didn't field any artillery, so no, that's a bit of a waste on my part. Anyway, so we line up. Now the plan for this map is to try and get to the archery dojo as quick as we can, really. So we put our toaster rifleman in front to try and get to provoke him into attacking us. We move our general behind him. Again, we surround our line with spears to avoid against cavalry action if we can. We group all of those, and we throw. What do we do? And then we put the rest of our cavalry. I'm pretty sure we put all of our cavalry in the woods to our left. So that's our 3 Yari keys and our carbine cavalry. So we say ready. It takes a while for this other guy to key up, so I'll just say a bit to ready up. Sorry. So yeah, on this map, because the key buildings had shifted, I still wanted the archery dojo. And I was just checking out the terrain to get forward. It looked flat enough, so I was running forward to do it. Fighting around a key building is really not a good idea. Everybody probably already knows that, and it was just me who doesn't. But it really just limits the amount of what all your units can do. Also here I was trying to spread out my carbine cavalry so they could get a full volley off before they had to retreat. Just putting everybody in guard mode. And I think I put my carbines in skirmish. Should probably put them in loose as well, but didn't. Yeah, so again, still brought artillery officer's handbook, but no artillery. So we move forward. So again, we just when we go ready, there we go. We just rush forward to try and take the archery dojo. So we can immediately see this guy's got Armstrong guns with like nearly 40 accuracy, and they are obscene, the damage they do. I tried to line up and hide in the trees, but it didn't matter. So he's brought 2 Guard Infantry. I think he's brought 1 or 2 black. What's he got? Yeah, a couple of Imperial Guard Infantry, which are brutal. A black bear or 2, 3 Yari keys, and a carbine cavalry. A pistol gen like mine, and well, just a pistol gen, and yeah, and the Armstrong gun. So even though I was in some woods, it's already killed a couple of riflemen and my general, and some of my general units, I should say. So again, yeah, he's got far less troops than me, but they're much better quality. So he's rushing his cavalry forward. I don't know if he's trying to flank around me or get to the workshop. So at this point I think I don't want him to get the workshop, and we just push forward, because we've got about the same force, so I think, well, it'll balance out. So we're carry on moving forward again. It's been a bit laggy match, so I'm sorry if it's a bit jerky. So look at that, so his Armstrong guns pummel our rifleman down to 53 and our general down to 23. He's also killed 16 black bear infantry. So we need to unlock some Armstrong guns and put him in a good position. So yeah, we just rush all of our cavalry forward, just trying to stop that engagement. Again, his Armstrong guns take another chunk out of my general. My units push me down to 20 general men, 53 riflemen, and I've lost 16 black bear. So the cavalry engagement, he uses 1 Yari key as a wide line to block my other 2 Yaris, which is smart. But I throw my carbine into his carbine and then try and get my other Yari key around to attack his stationary Yari key. His artillery is giving me no choice but to keep moving forward. I'm aware of the Yari key on my right, but I can't do anything about that just yet. Again, so we've routed the one that he threw at us. We've got 1 or 2 units killing his other Yari key, and then we've got our carbine cav just laying down cover fire. Now this is what I mean, where I've positioned myself at the bottom of a hill unwittingly, because I had to move for the archery dojo. So, not great start. I was also very keen to try and get some cavalry into that goddamn artillery. His Carbine Cavalry started routing and then came back immediately, so I don't know if he's upgraded the morale on them or not. At this point I realise I'm not going to win standing where I am, because I can't shoot them. So he's thrown his Imperial Guard Infantry round to blast my Yariki, and they do a brilliant job of that. I throw one of my Yariki into his now stationary Carbine Cavalry, and I throw one Yariki down into his Armstrong guns. The two Imperial guns that he's got, the Imperial Guard Infantry that he's got lined up, are just ripping into my lines as I'm basically manoeuvring. So as you can see, I've lost half a Black Bear unit, most of my riflemen, and a lot of my general unit. So that's the flak ability of his Armstrong guns ripping into my lines again. So I've got two Yaris into his Armstrong guns, but he's got his general and his Carbine Cav shooting into my remaining Yariki, into my Yariki that I sent for his general, so it's not going to make it. I put some spears in the woods in case this Yariki charged. I wasn't quite sure what he was waiting for. I'm finally getting my Black Bears in a position to return fire on this Guard Infantry. That Guard Infantry has already got 102 kills. Okay? It does ridiculous things. So he's charging his Imperial Guard Infantry into mine. So I've routed his Armstrongs and we're pulling my remaining Yariki into his Carbine Cav. He's pulling his Yariki back to support his general. So I try and rush my Spears unit to help, my Spears forward to help. Throwing that other Spear Levy into his Guard Infantry to try and stop that ripping me up like it is doing. Having this goddamn dojo in front of us is doing no good whatsoever. And at this point, another Carbine Cavalry comes out of the woods and takes out my... or starts firing on my Yariki. 80 accuracy, 80 reload, 40 accuracy on that Carbine Cav he's got. We routed his first unit though. And we've got a couple of units on his general, but it doesn't die. We're trying to get our general safe and in a position where he can fire. It doesn't look possible. Our Yariki gets into his Carbine Cavalry, but they've got pretty decent melee stats, so they do rather well. So we're trying to engage his Guard Infantry with our melee troops, but they're just amazing. Somehow his Guard Infantry look like they're shooting around the archery dojo, whereas my units weren't, so I don't know, good use of positioning on his part. My Yariki have tied up his Carbine Cav. I'm throwing my Spears forward into his general, because he's nearly dead. Oh, I think I was wrong, I think he's got a leadership general, not a pistol general. That will explain why his men lasted so long, I guess. So we've got some flanking fire going on, we're charging our Spear Levy round, trying to get into his general. His Carbine Cav's about to rout at the back, but our Yariki have taken a beating. Excuse me. Our Spear Levy are dying by his Guard units, his Guard Infantry. Yeah, it got very laggy at this point, I'm sorry. So we're trying to get our Spear Levy into his Guard Infantry, but somehow he's able to just reposition them and then refire, and they're killed us. He routed our Spear Levy over here, and now has his Yariki coming round to get to our general, so we try to reposition our riflemen to ward him off. At this point, we're fast running out of melee troops, basically. We try pulling our remaining Yariki into his general, which still hasn't died or routed. His Guard Infantry has got some very decent melee stats, and did a remarkable job, really. This one here, particularly, has currently got 184 kills. So we're trying to reposition our riflemen, but they're taking a very long time. Again, trying to reposition our Black Bear to fire. Even though we've all been shooting at his front line, they still only have down to 70 men. Finally, his general routes. We throw our Yariki into the back of this unit here, but then when I see it wavering, I pull my Yariki out to attack this other unit that he has. Our Black Bear tie up his cavalry, fortunately. And we've thrown our Yariki into the back of his Guard Infantry that's left. Which that one's got 100 odd kills, remarkable work. This one's up to 214 kills, because it's routing our Spear Levy, even though it's been attacked in the front and the back. So we throw our Black Bear in just to try and get rid of this unit because it's just doing ridiculous stuff. I had some trouble getting my attack order to go through with a lag there. Our guns were just about to rout his Yari key, thankfully, and our Black Bear and everything else are opening up on his other Guard Infantry. But these guys, 238 kills, are just ridiculous. They just would not go. So now we're firing into the side of his other Guard Infantry. We're trying to get our Yaris to just get rid of this goddamn unit. It's got 2 armour, and this is where I was just perplexed at how amazingly well that unit was doing. Standing up to 2 units of infantry and cavalry and still killing them all. We routed his cavalry at the back, and then we finally got his Guard Infantry in the middle wavering and routed, so we took it. But at this point, he said what unit, and then he dropped. So you can see it freezes there, and he drops because he's about to lose, which is pathetic, really. Maybe trying to preserve his veterans, I don't know what he was doing. It could have been a net problem. I was talking to my friend over the internet at this point still, so I know it wasn't my internet or connection to Steam that broke. So yeah. So I spend a couple of minutes trying to click about and see what happens, and then we get the message to say he dropped, I believe. Yeah, so then my line comes back up, and then little friend has been dropped from the game. So whether he left or he disconnected, I don't know what happened, but I said lame, that could have been wrong. So looking at the results, I deployed 1,410, I lost 944, I killed 631. So this is an example where epic quality almost won out over quantity. I took nearly double his men and still lost more units. For him, he deployed 750. Lost 634, killed 935. In terms of units, my Black Bear 111, Yari Key 104, Black Bear 74, but this is ridiculous. Look at this. His Imperial Guard Infantry 280, 150 and 146. These troops are immense. And his Armstrong guns got 131 kills, so and I took them out pretty early. So that seems to be the future, guys. Hardcore infantry, upgraded accuracy artillery, and enough cavalry to see off other people's cavalry. I was just amazed at that, so